What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to the channel. And folks, the time has come. We're breaking down 5 key Mets who will not return for the upcoming 2023 season for one or multiple reasons, because we all know, folks, there's a laundry list of free agents that the Mets need to address this offseason. So the question lies, who's staying? Who's leaving? Well, there's a lot of valid reasons as to each of these players soon to be discussed. We'll be in a new uniform next year and not in Queens, but nothing is definite, nothing is certain, of course. So that is why I want to hear from you, Mets fans, in the comments below. Spam it down there, regardless on if you agree or disagree with my 5 picks. Let me hear it. And as always, Mets fans, thank you all so much for the support by smashing that like and subscribe on, sharing this video with friends, on the notification bell, all those great things. And one final thing is that today's show, like all shows you'll see for a while, are brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. So head over to betonline.ag and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use promo code Bleav at BLEAV and receive your rewards. Bet online, it's where the games begin. Now, folks, let's let the show begin. Starting off at number 5, we have the easiest and quickest discussion here, which is Tyler Naquin, corner outfielder and bench bat for the New York Mets. Naquin, of course, was acquired by the Mets right around the trade deadline, or slightly before that, rather, from the Cincinnati Reds. And when you look at his numbers as a whole, they aren't terrible as a utility guy, but specifically his numbers with the New York Mets were pretty abysmal. He only had around a 200 average, around a 250 not even on base percentage, a sub 650 OPS. This guy was nothing short of a strikeout machine when he got any decent playing time in Queens. Yes, he was red hot with Vogelback and Ruff to a lesser degree in their first month with the Mets, but after that, it was all downhill, all inconsistent. Naquin, he's not a Gold Glover by any stretch in the corner, and he's not a consistent bat to be putting the ball in play. So for all those reasons, as much as we love his highlights that he had against the Atlanta Braves when he first came here, it's safe to say that Tyler Naquin will likely be repping a different uniform this upcoming season. And at number 4, we have Trevor May, right-hand reliever for the New York Mets. I mean, Trevor May is someone that just had an unfortunate year for the New York Mets. He was injury-riddled left and right. Started off the year with an injury bug for a while, then came back, then dealt with some COVID, dealt with some ailments left and right. This guy could never stay healthy, which was unfortunate because when he was out there, especially down the stretch, he was looking better and better when the Mets needed him to as they were getting close to playoff time. But with that limited role that he had this past year due to injuries, and a guy that isn't nearly as consistent as what you're hoping for what his market value is going to be, and with the Mets not having much of any leeway, let's be honest, you'd be shelling out multiples of millions for relievers not named Edwin Diaz this upcoming season. There is a very strong likelihood that Trevor May will in fact be pitching next year, but not with the Mets. And at number 3, another right-hand reliever, this time the Puerto Rican himself, and Seth Lugo. Lugo, the longtime New York Met, he has poured his heart and soul into this club, doing everything they've asked over the years, from being a starter, to a spot starter, to a reliever, to a multi-inning reliever. What hasn't this guy done for the team in Queens? And while he certainly has had his inconsistency the past 2 years, we saw in 2022 a horrendous first half. The home run rate was up to settling down a bit more, but still dealing with that home run ball to a certain degree in the second half of 2022. Seth Lugo has been very reliable, but more inconsistent than in years past. And because of those reasons, to an extent, I do feel that Seth Lugo will be parting ways, not so much because of the Mets not wanting to bring back their veteran right-hander, but more so because you're going to see teams potentially overpay for a Seth Lugo type, knowing how reliable he's been for years on end with that nasty breaking ball. I mean, one of the best curveballs in the biz with the spin rate. He doesn't need sticky stuff to get that ball going and moving at an alarming rate, and that's why we love Seth. But I think he has a great chance to be in an increased role elsewhere as a Trevor Williams type reliever, eating more innings than say he was this past year or so in the 7th, 8th inning type role. I wish Seth Lugo all the best, but it really feels like his time in Queens has come to an end. And at number 2, we have right-hand starter this time in Taijuan Walker. I love Taijuan, great personality, great human being, really solid starter, a guy that had a Jekyll and Hyde first year with the Mets, put those same type of thoughts to rest in 2022. Yes, he wasn't perfect in the second half, but he was certainly better by a large portion than what he was in year 1. And this is a Taijuan Walker that wasn't used to the workload, was away for multiple years in baseball in large parts, dealing with Tommy John and other ailments leading up to his signing with the Mets. in year 2, really got comfortable, loved his arsenal, loved the velo. He was a guy that looked like a stud in the first half for 2 consecutive years, but the difference is that in the second half in 2022, he was still at least a solid starter in the back half of your rotation, was able to eat innings for you, and someone that, like every starter in this Mets rotation throughout the year, has had the lights bright on them as a top starter in the rotation in either small or large ways. I mean, everyone has had a solid impact for the most part in this Mets rotation in 2022, and that was what was so nice about it. But with Taijuan expected to opt out of his potential player option of $6 million, he's going to elect free agency, and there's already been rumblings that the Mets are not prioritizing Taijuan the same way they are with their other top free agents. So Walker, he's going to get a big payday and overpay from an opposing team more than likely on a multi-year deal, and while it's going to hurt the Mets and their depth of their rotation, they only have so much money that they're working with to bring back their top guys and go for external options. So for all those reasons, Taijuan Walker, I expect him to sign elsewhere on a multi-year deal to be, say, a number 2 in the rotation versus a number 3, number 4, number 5 with the New York Mets. And if that's the case, I wish him all the best, but unfortunately, this feels like a very strong reality. And at number 1, we have 2-time Cy Young Award winner in Jacob deGrom. And no, I do not want to see Jacob deGrom leave. I am pissed that I have to discuss him right now, if I'm being frank. One of my favorite players I've ever witnessed, the favorite player of many, Jacob deGrom needs to stay a New York Met, okay? And I know we got fans out there that want otherwise, and that's okay. I disagree with your opinion, but we all have our own. I hate that I'm discussing him right now. You think I'm happy that I have him on the thumbnail? No, it disgusts me. It breaks my heart, but I pray that this is a reverse jinx. That's why I purposely put him on the thumbnail. I'm hoping, calling to the baseball gods, that you don't hurt us Mets fans yet again, that Jacob deGrom signs a new deal with the Mets, and that way I can change the thumbnail when it is all said and done that Jake is signing a new deal, pen to paper in Queens. But we're discussing him because there really is a coin flip, a 50-50 shot that he will not be a Met next year. You have to wonder, how fed up is he with the training staff over the years with all of his ailments? The Mets micromanaged him to a T, being the best pitcher in baseball. Naturally, you're going to care about all ailments, small and big. Is he fed up by that? Does he have the same feelings that he did over the years in pressers when he would constantly say, I love the idea of staying with one organization my entire career? Does he still feel that way, right? Or is this something where he has a change of heart now over the years, dealing with his injuries, and, you know, he came back and is still the best pitcher in baseball, the best stuff on the planet when he's healthy and locating right? Is he someone that still wants to stay in Queens? That is the biggest factor here. I don't think this is nearly as much of a concern from a monetary standpoint. Steve Cohen has a deep pockets. We know he's going to throw him the bag over how many years that is soon to be determined, right? But we know that he's going to be looking for 40+ mil a year, Max Scherzer minimum type money after taking a team-friendly type deal with the Wilpons a couple years ago. He has given so much to this organization. Now that the Mets finally have an owner in place that's willing to spend and willing to help develop and make this team the best possible, why would Jake have a change of heart now? If he does, we don't know, and I pray we don't get there. You have the Texas Rangers with Bruce Bochy trying to do their best Mets impression with hiring a Buck Showalter, right? Then you have the Atlanta Braves, Jake's favorite team growing up. Those are really your big teams to look out for that aren't the Mets. But for me, again, this comes down to personal preference. If Jake wants to stay in Queens, he's going to stay in Queens. The Mets will make him the highest paid pitcher in baseball per year without question. And if he doesn't, again, I don't think it's going to be something where the Mets got outpaid. I really don't. Steve Cohen's going to put his best foot forward. Now all of us Mets fans that want Jake back have to hope and pray that he returns as a guy that we all expected to opt out. We all knew he was going to opt out. He deserves a rightful payday regardless of his injuries. Now the question is, who is he going to be playing for in 2023? But with that being said, Mets fans, that's going to conclude this video. So let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about Jacob deGrom and these listed 5 players? Do you agree, disagree with me on my picks? Again, Jake is the only guy that, like, I truly do not know what's going to happen with him. And because of that uncertainty, that's why we had to discuss him today. Praying I'm proven wrong. Trust me, I want to more than anything. I don't think he's going, but I do at the same time. I don't know. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. And as always, folks, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to smash that like and subscribe on, sharing this video with your friends, on the notification bell, all those great things. Stay tuned for more great Mets content. As always, I'll talk to you guys later. Let's go Mets, baby.